Assalamualaikum and a very good day. I, Siti Nurul Aziera Binti Desa, matric number 262213. Today, I will talk about issue the employees' statutory duties. I have examined various duties imposed on employers by the EA and others legislation. Before we proceed, it is helpful to make of two things. First, most employers have both group of employees working for them. One group that comes under the EA and a second group that do not come under the EA. Where possible, employer often implement similar human resource policy for both group of employees. This is particularly true when it comes to annual leave entitlement. This means that for some enlightenment or benefit, the distinctions between the two groups of employees it is very significant. Second, employee may exceed the standard prescribed by the EA by granting his employee more favorable right. Act 7A. Okay, for wages. Meaning of wages. Wages mean basic wages and all other cash payment that an employee receives in return of work done under the employment contract. Wages do not include the value of any accommodation or the supply of any food, fuels, light or water, or medical attendance. Thus, where a hotel provides accommodation and food for its employee, the value of this service cannot be counted as wages. For the deduction, lawful deduction can be made from wages. For example, an employer may make deduction as required by the Employee Provident Fund Act 1991 EPF contributions and the Employee Social Security Act 1969 SOCSO contributions. However, some deductions such as payment into any superannuation scheme, provident fund, welfare scheme or insurance scheme can only be made at the employee return request and with the Director General of Labor approval. Subject to limited exceptions, the total deduction from the wages of an employee for any 1 month should not exceed 50% of his wages for that month. Okay, for minimum wages. Nation has introduced a minimum wages law in 2012 where the minimum wages order 2012 has applied applicable the minimum wages rate payable to an employee in West Malaysia was 900 ringgit Malaysia per month for 4 ringgit and 33 cent per hour. Can hotel convert all of part of service charge into basic salary for the purpose of complying with the minimum wage rates? In Kesatuan Kebangsaan Pekerja-Pekerja Hotel, Bar dan Restoran Semenanjung Malaysia, Crystal Crown Hotel and Resort Sdn Bhd. From the Crystal Crown case, the Industrial Court state that the minimum wage rate should be implemented in a way that results in real increase in salary level. If a hotel was allowed to reconstruct an employee total salary by reclassifying all or part of his service point into basic salary so as to comply with the minimum wages in Order 2012 at that time, the purpose of minimum wage would be defeated. The decision of the Industrial Court was affirmed by the High Court. The Crystal Crown case has led to a series of litigations between hotel and trade union. Hotelier pointed to the minimum wage order guideline made by the National Wages Consultative Council (MWO guideline). The MWO guideline allow hotel to classify all or part of service point into basic salary in order to comply with the minimum wage. This will prevent a sudden or drastic increase in labor costs in the hotel industry. However, the MWO guidelines have no force of law. In the Crystal Crown case, the MWO guidelines were not a court great importance. However, recent decision of the industrial court seems to suggest a rethinking of the relevancy of the MWO guideline. In Federal Hotel Sdn Bhd versus Kesatuan Kebangsaan Pekerja-Pekerja Hotel, Bar dan Restoran Semenanjung Malaysia, case number 3-3444/14, award number 1277 of 2016, and Greentown City Hotel Sdn Bhd versus Kesatuan Kebangsaan Pekerja-Pekerja Hotel, Bar and Restoran Semenanjung Malaysia, case number 3/3-345/14, award number 1326 of 2016. The Industrial Court acknowledged the importance of the MWO guideline. This was because the MWO guideline would have been issued upon appropriate research and consultations with various parties affected by the minimum wages. Although the MWO guidelines were not legally binding, they should not be disregarded without any justification when the industrial court decide on a trade dispute. Nevertheless, the industrial court state that they were bound by the decision of the High Court in the Crystal Crown case. Therefore, following the Crystal Crown case, where a hotel pay an employee a basic salary that is below the minimum wage, it is must increase the basic salary to the appropriate sum prescribed by the MWO 2016. This adjustment cannot be made by manipulating an employee service point. At the time of writing, the Crystal Crown case is on appeal to the Court of Appeal. In the meantime, the uncertainties concerning the implementation of the minimum wage in the hotel industry remain.